want to set that foundation that really worship is a state of being. It's a heart posture. It's communion. It's beholding God. And I heard someone say once, beholding is becoming. He's looking for friends to share his heart. What we adore and worship, we actually become like. That's why there's an epidemic with social media and politics and so many things that want to take our attention, right? It's a war over our attention. Whatever we worship, whatever we look at, we gaze at, we become like. It's a principle of the kingdom. Why is worship such a big deal in the Bible? So many commands about not worshiping other idols or gods, because God knew we'd become like whatever we worship. We become what we behold. And many of us actually, when we're in worship, we're actually getting to rewire our brains. Staring and beholding God is a huge part of regrowing our internal world. And I know for some of us, I shared this before, but for some of us, we really struggle even imagining God's face or Jesus' face. I know I did for most of my life, and I've shared how he came to me, and he would come to me in a different form because he just come in whatever was safe. And however my spirit could accept him, he's not worried. He's so humble and gentle in heart. He just comes the way we need him to come. And for years, he just came to me as a lion until he was safe enough to show me more of his face, because a man wasn't safe for a long time. But he began to heal me the more I saw him. Sometimes he came as a river, and I would just feel his love just cascade over me and pour over me. So I just want to give you permission today. He's going to encounter you uniquely for you. He's doing it right now. He's meeting you right now in a way that's so powerful. But over time, I began to see Jesus' face more and more, and see his smile, and see how proud of me he was, see pleasure in his eyes, not disappointment or criticism. But that took practice. So us practicing that muscle of gazing on God, it's so important, you guys. It's the seed of worship. And this is so crazy. We've talked about attachment when it comes to early childhood development before. And attachment is formed in the early infant stages, and it's when a mom is like nursing a baby at their breast, and they're locking eyes with their baby. And that child's sense of identity, safety, the foundation for how they filter the whole world is built in that moment of actually just staring and locking eyes with their caregiver. It's this it's supposed to be this perfect source of love. A lot of us didn't have that. But I want to tell you guys, there's a reason we stare into the eyes of love. There's a reason we stare into Jesus' face and see him. He's reparenting us. He's actually healing our nervous systems. He's freeing our minds and our bodies. He's helping us to receive identity. I love this story from Jonathan Helser. Jonathan and Melissa Helser are amazing worship leaders and pastors out in North Carolina. I got the joy of being led by them for a year. And Jonathan always tells this story when he would hold his firstborn son. He would just get as close to his baby's face as he could. And he would just nestle up there. And he realized one day that Cadence, his son, was staring up at his eyes, but he wasn't just looking into his dad's eyes. Have you ever been so close to someone that you can see your own reflection in their eyeballs? If you've ever been in love, maybe, or if you've held your kids really close, that's what worship was meant to be. This up close, holding eye contact with God, seeing his perfect love, and then seeing ourselves, but through his eyes. His eyes become our mirror when we look at him. And he instills identity. I love that Jesus created worship to be this double-edged, beautiful sword that pierces everything else in our lives. And it's as we proclaim who he is, he can't help but tell us who we are. He just loves to do it. It's like we tell him who he is, we thinking we're coming to give this to God, but no, while we tell him who he is, he pours into us and he reminds us of our identity, right? Have you guys had experiences like that? You come and you're just telling the Lord, thank you for things, and then he ends up telling you more about who you are. God doesn't need this from us. He's not an insecure God who's like, worship me. I think I need it today. He doesn't need it. He's self-sufficient. He's the all-sufficient one. We're just designed so intrinsically connected to him that us uttering who he is realigns who we are because we're so interconnected. And that's a mystery. And go seek out that mystery because there is so much more for you to discover there that I can't get into today. But God invites us to worship. He designed us because he knew it would change us.